Come on in, everybody. This one will be fun. A unique moment in Tennessee history right here.
It truly is the most exciting thing that's happened here in a while, I would
Yes.
say.
TNHoller.com is where you can find us at the TN Holler on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Your small dollar monthly donations go a long way. Chip in a few bucks a month and get one of these sweet hats like the one I'm wearing. Shout out to Elisa Parker. If you're buying or selling a home in Middle Tennessee, do it through her. If you need a lawyer, Abby Rubenfeld. And then also if you need insurance, Peggy Hubbard is our newest sponsor. Everything but health insurance. All right. I just want to start today by kind of walking through how I came to understand what's happening here. Republican appointed school board member resigned within a week of her appointment, predominantly a Democratic district in Clarksville. Her resignation struck a lot of people as odd since she hadn't even been to a school board meeting yet. Then it started to come out that there might be more to the story. Democrats in the area posted sort of a cryptic message saying, "We have been made aware of a graphic adult TV show appearance," which had not been mentioned in any of the stories. Then I was told to look for season 5, episode 2 of a Showtime show called Gigolos. My Paramount Plus subscription came in handy. It certainly looked to be Teresa Crosslin. I think last night it came out that she was withdrawing her resignation and she acknowledged that it was in fact her in this Gigolos show. This is a sex scene, full on sex scene. And she has now withdrawn her resignation. She is going to remain on the school board as a Republican school board member. So to talk about this from Sockham in Montgomery County, Monica Meeks, Allie Phillips in Clarksville, Ora Dorsey, thank you all for joining us. I can't show what I want to show. And I also don't want to shame her. It's about the hypocrisy here. Monica, what am I missing? And what was your reaction when you heard all this?
Well, first of all, Justin, how much time do you have? um, I want to applaud Teresa Crosslin because I'm one that always advocates for everyday working class people to run for office. She didn't run, she was seeking an appointment, but we are not here as women to shame another woman. But there's some things going on in the process. And my question is it above reproach? We saw our state rep, who is also my school board member, Erin Mayberry, before the meeting, speaking with several Republicans. Oh, there's the picture. Yay. On this day, for some reason, they decided not to vote until the following meeting. I want to call out those 11 county commissioners that voted in favor of Teresa Crosslin. John Gannon, District 1, he ran uncontested, by the way. Joe Smith, District 3, Ricky Ray, District 4, Michael Langford, District 6, Nathan Burkholder, District 7, Jorge Padro, District 9, he also ran uncontested. Joe Creek, Google him when you have a chance, District 11, Joshua Bill, District 14, Ryan Gallant, District 18, Billy Fry, District 19, and Autumn Simmons, District 20. Commissioner Simmons, she did give me the courtesy of a text message. And I said, well, what was it about her that stood out? And she said, she talked about bullying. And I said, well, that's not really in the purview. She also said, and this is why I'm doing a little bit of trolling, I have on my overqualified shirt. She said the other gentleman, Mr. Anderson, was overqualified for school board. In 2022, under Governor Lee, that's when we started this partisan school board bullcrap. And the first one who calls himself the first Republican, Erin Mayberry again, he also goes to church with Teresa Crosslin.
She works at his church.
Yes, I call it Mosaic MAGA Church. But there's so much more to this story because this is a man, mediocre Mayberry, who frames everything around merit and accountability and says he doesn't like quotas. Probably had a hand in hiring her to be on this school board. And that's quota. So if you go to the right church, are you allowed to be on the school board? The focus is not Miss Teresa. Again, I applaud her for even wanting to be on the school board because it's a very polarizing environment.
I'm going to turn to you now, Ora. It's not about her being on the show. It's about, like you're saying, the process, which I'm sure I don't know a lot, but also the general hypocrisy of Republicans in Tennessee, especially legislating morality and attacking the LGBTQ community, banning books that even mention sex, and then appointing a woman when you find out she has this in her background, not saying anything about that. So what I'm hoping is that the lesson here is that they stop that hypocrisy stuff more than anything else. And it's not about shaming her for what she did. Ora, what do you think about all this?
I love the accountability aspect, but I also agree that we shouldn't shame nobody for their back shots, them laying on their back. That's their business. At the end of the day, District 3 children are without a representative. I don't see any integrity in her. At first, she said she resigned for one reason, and then she go back and rescind that and say she's resigning for something else. I don't trust her. And our children need someone that is an example of integrity. And we need that. If you look at the county commissioners, Monica was so gracefully named each one of the ones that voted against the interests of our children. I put their little short resume into AI, and AI told me who's the most qualified for the position.
Did it say Elon?
I love that. It was Mr. Anderson. Daryl Anderson brings the most directly relevant professional experience with over 30 years in education. If AI can talk to us and he don't even know the person, so the hypocrisy and the nepotism that's going on in this county commission, school boards doesn't need to be partisan. These kids need people that's going to work for them, fight for them.
You've both highlighted that, a lot of this started when we brought even more partisanship to the state by making school boards partisan, which happened recently, which Republicans overwhelmingly voted for. I think that's right on. Allie, I want to hear all your thoughts about this, but also I'd like to know if you think that this story should be national news.
So let me first start by saying thanks for having me on. I want to echo what the two ladies before me had said. This isn't about what she did in the past. It's about the hypocrisy of it all and the back and forth. School Board District 3 is my district. So this woman will represent my children. Problem I see with it here is the lack of integrity at the first part of it and just owning what was coming. She stated in the interview that she did with Clarksville Now, there was an anonymous tip that they knew that she was in the show and she freaked out and resigned because of that. If she knew it was coming out, she should have just owned up to it. Do I think it should be national news? I think it sets a very strong example of party politics in towns and red districts because, like you said, this is a predominantly Democratic voting area. It's about a plus 23 blue area. So was it about she had the qualifications to be the right candidate to serve in this position, or was it about making a blue seat red so they can have another Republican on the school board? They just blatantly didn't do any sort of background research without shaming her, because that's not, again, what this is about. It embarrassed our county. Commissioners that voted for her and are standing behind it, they have embarrassed our county. It's the back and forth. It's the inconsistency that makes me concerned that she's not going to be able to make solid, good decisions for the students of our county. I think it should gain more attention, not because of what she did, but because of the back and forth about it.
Monica, is she going to sit there and ban books? Is that what's coming? Is she now going to join them in this, what I would call crusade to, again, legislate morality and attack people for their choices? I want to point out what she said in her letter to outlets. She didn't email us, which I feel very slighted by, but she said, "That is true. That is me. I never denied it. I just didn't want to comment on it previously." And then they say that she said the scene was only acting and she did not have sex with the actor, which she's an excellent actress then, because I saw that scene and I would question that greatly. And then she said, "I recommitted my life to Jesus. If I can use this to help somebody and let them see this is what evil caused for me by choosing to do just what my flesh wanted instead of the right thing, which God wanted me to do. And I know God didn't pick that for me to do. It was only my flesh," which doesn't seem to jive with her not having had sex with the guy. Anyway, Monica, is she going to legislate morality now?
I hope not. And this isn't partisan. It's about the process. I want to get back to that and how she was even selected. Collusion, as President Trump used to always say. There's some collusion going on. I do want to focus on the other three applicants. And if you look at their resume, like Aura said, they are overqualified. We always claim that Clarks Vegas is the most patriotic city in America. But there was a veteran that had 25 years and she wasn't selected. I don't know that Michelle James got one vote. But to answer your question about book banning, that's what we're on par to do. I have friends that are on the library board. Thank God she is a woman veteran. But they are trying to ban and take things at our public library. Anything related to LGBTIA, Toni Morrison, the bluest eye. It's ridiculous. So yes, if she stays in a line with MAGA Mosaic Church, where she's a member, then yes, more books will come off the shelf for Montgomery County.
Or I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How would the reaction be different from the county commissioners in Clarksville and the school board members, her fellow school board members, if this was a Democrat?
Well, you already know they would have been blasted all over the place, right? Blasted all over the place. They wouldn't even want to come out. You know how they treat other people besides Republicans. Republicans are so holier than thou. Again, say this is not partisan issue.
Well, they made it one by making this a partisan race.
Exactly. And so when she brought out that a so-called Democrat is the one that coerced her into resigning, she made it about that. I'm gonna just be honest, it did trigger me because now you lying. Just call a thing and own up to your truth. For MAGA Mosaic Church, Baby, y'all got skeletons in y'all closet too. And we need to know that. Whatever you got going on is your business, but we have to call a thing a thing. You can be holier than thou, but that same process doesn't work for the next person. We see who has the privilege. She has the privilege. And we go call a thing a thing. A white woman has the privilege, and that's how it's always been. How many black men got lynched for looking at a white woman and she lied?
Right. I guess that's the other way of putting it, is not only if she was a Democrat, but if she was a black woman, how would the reaction be different? That's another way of
Right,
asking it.
exactly. We are not the same. The process needs to be changed. We shouldn't look at color, but we often do. And I'm going to be honest, MAGA Mosaic and Aaron Mayberry, he picked this one because you see the correlation. You see the pattern. She worked in the kitchen cooking rice at MAGA Mosaic Church. He is a family pastor at MAGA Mosaic Church.
Has he said anything about this?
Oh, he's been quiet. I guess he allegedly saved somebody's life yesterday on 24.
Oh, that's great. Allie, what would your
Church
question
mouth.
be for MAGA Mosaic Mayberry, as they keep calling him? What would your question be for Mayberry, and what do you think should happen next?
My question for Aaron, I guess, would be, what research did you do about this candidate, for one? And for two, why aren't you speaking up? Because you did advocate for her. You did ask her to run. And from what I remember hearing about her resume, not only did she work at the church, but I also heard that she was potentially over childcare services at the church as well. My big question for him would be, would you hold our teachers and educators to the same standard? Because our teachers and educators have been fired for way less. And this is a person that is on the school board that makes decisions that are going to affect the daily lives of our educators, our teachers, our staff, our administration, and our students. Is the standard going to be held the same? Or is there special privileges because you know her and she goes to your church?
That's a good question. County Commissioner Rashida Leverett posted on Facebook today, the county attorney has concluded she can retain her position because the legislative body didn't accept the resignation. She resigned, but then quickly withdrew it. And in the interim, the county commission did not accept it. Therefore, she hasn't actually resigned. What do you think they should do now? Should they ask her to resign? Should they come out and force her to resign?
The county attorney's name is Timothy Harvey, and he is conservative. Nothing wrong with him being conservative, but once again, they're trying to move the goalposts. She resigned. I was a uniformed police officer at Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and I resigned in 2014. So can I go now and say, hey, it's 2025, I resign, can I start working tomorrow?
Yeah.
She resigned, and she lied about why she resigned. And again, I don't want to beat up on Teresa. I get it how you live it, girl. She resigned. Timothy Harvey is a conservative. I go to the budget meetings. I encourage you guys to go and see where the money resides and what Timothy Harvey is saying in these budget meetings. He is our county attorney, and there's some things on him as well. They're making it more political than they have to, but she has no business being on the school board. I don't want to see your tatas when I go to the school board meetings, because I go quite frequently. So I've seen her tatas now. No, that's not appropriate. And I do want to go over this GP1 governance process. It's on the CMCSS website. It says the board supporting the work of staff, the welfare of students, and the interests of the community holds itself accountable to the citizens of Clarksville, Montgomery County by ensuring that all action it takes is consistent with the board's policies and beliefs. So does the board support soft porn? Yay or no?
I hear you. And Aura, what do you think the perspective is of like families and students in Clarksville? Nobody would be judging her for doing this if she wasn't on the school board. Do you think people in Clarksville are going to be able to see past this as she continues to serve?
Great question. And I appreciate that question because yesterday I received 20 phone calls, text messages, and 2 knocks on my door. A lot of parents are concerned. One parent called me and said that their child was watching it, season 5, episode 2, and she walked into the door and she saw the lady. The child said, hey, this is our school board member. She was very much concerned. Your voice need to be heard. Email your county commissioner, email the school board, and also vote.
What would even be the process of removing her? Where would that come from? Would that come from the county commission, the school board?
I don't know. I think it would probably have to come from the school board. If I would assume a lot of pressure from the community, accountability has to be had. The seat is up this year. If she wants to keep a seat, she has to rerun. August is the election. If she keeps this
says
seat,
it's almost impossible
to get her off.
Yeah.
See, that's the hard part. And that's where the party politics comes in here in Clarksville, Montgomery County, which
I mean, I'm just gonna be
unfortunately,
honest. I love that she's staying, frankly. The hypocrisy of this is so inescapable. For like Aaron Mayberry to be silent on this and all of these other Republican county commissioners to be silent on this that voted for her, it's just so glorious. I understand that it's not great for for the students and the families. The hypocrisy of this is just unbelievable to me. And she is now going to be a monument to that. When is the next school board meeting?
First Tuesday of December.
I would imagine there's going to be some public comment coming.
Absolutely.
I mean, is she going to speak about stuff? It's just incredible. It reminds me of Lieutenant Governor McNally commenting on young half-naked gay men's Instagram, and Republicans did not remove him, didn't say anything about it, and continue to legislate attacking gay people. Another one that comes to mind is Corey DeAngelis, the tip of the spear for these voucher people who has been here attacking public schools. It comes out that he did gay porn. The hypocrisy is the headline here. Monica, what are some final words you have?
Well, I just find it very ironic that mediocre Mayberry always talks about being proud that he dismantled diversity, equity, and inclusion, and everything should be merit-based. And then he goes and talks to several county commissioners. So is nepotism okay, but DEI is bad? And another thing I want to point out is we don't want sex education being taught, but it's okay to have this woman on the school board. And the last thing I wanted to say is the board members' code of conduct, because there are going to be some more complaints. I'm not going to accept that she's just going to be on the school board until August. Absolutely not. The board committee itself and its members to ethical, businesslike, and lawful conduct, including proper use of authority and appropriate decorum when acting as board members. She has to go. She's not fit. And I hate using that. She's not fit to be on the school board.
Piggyback off of Monica, she is not fit. Some things fit, but she is not fit for this position. The next school board meeting is December the 2nd. Yes. All parents, all community members, if you need to know how to email requests to do a public comment, reach out to us. Also, you can go to the website. My ask is to attend all school board meetings, voice your concerns, contact other board members, because this is not right. If the teachers have to be held at a certain standard, then the board members should also.
I don't feel comfortable her representing my daughter in these schools. My neighbors may agree with me. I don't want to speak for them. I ask the community to apply pressure, hold your elected officials accountable. All county commissioner seats are up for re-election next year. Run against them, because we have to have accountability here. Like you said, hypocrisy is the headline. Her first school board meeting is going to be December 2nd. That is election day for this congressional race here in District 7. So that's a big topic. So we don't want to minimize her first school board meeting. We want to get out and we want to ask these questions of her. We also want to ask these questions of Erin Mayberry. Our county commission has another appointment coming up. Representative Jeff Burkhart, who was my opponent last year, passed away last week, and I send my condolences to his family and friends. We are now going to appoint the seat for the State House, District 75. How are they going to vote this go around? Is it going to be a lot of internal discussions from Erin Mayberry again to pick the candidate that he wants? Is it going to be them voting on merit? Is it going to be them voting on party? That's the questions we have to ask ourselves. Are they going to put the most qualified person up to represent District 75? Because I don't feel they did to represent School Board District 3.
Monica, you wanted to say something about voting?
I'm Team Afton. We need Afton in that seat.
Yes.
And we're not being paid for this.
Afton just stood in Nashville and said that she's only 4 points down. Let people know there's an election going on. I think that's the main challenge here, getting people to understand that this is even happening.
4 points down from Matt Van Epstein files. This was a plus 22 red district for Trump, and she's down to 4 points. People need to understand how monumental that is. We are so close to drilling this win home. So if you thought your vote doesn't count because you're in a red Tennessee, it does. Election day is December 2nd. Let's get Afton to Congress.
Thank you all for joining me today. To me, this is a national story, no brainer. Please keep me posted as the tea continues to get spilled.
It's piping hot up here in Clarksville.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.